Good morning, Jayhawks. I'm Riley.
And I'm Kirsten, and we have your news for this morning.
It was a great day yesterday. KU had senior night. Tarek Black, Nico Roberts, and Justin Wesley all got their send-off in Allen Fieldhouse. And Tarek Black had a pretty huge game.
Yeah, I would agree. He had 9 from 9 and scored how many points?
19 points.
Wow.
And, yeah, he really did a great job replacing injured Joel Embiid, who will be out for the West Virginia game next Saturday, at least. Did you get a chance to go to the game last night?
I did not, actually. I was really disappointed. I didn't even get to watch it at home because I had so much homework. Did you get to go?
No, I actually didn't either, but I heard some of the senior speeches, and Tarek Black's was pretty good. It was entertaining, and he sounded like he really made the best of his time here at Kansas.
Yeah.
Besides him, we had a couple other good players. Nadir Tharp had 16 points and 5 assists, played pretty well. And Andrew Wiggins, it was probably his final game in the field house as well, and he got a nice little standing ovation there at the end.
Wow.
Yeah. So on our players entering the NBA draft, who do you think out of the freshman extraordinaire is going to enter the draft?
Well, I think that Wiggins definitely will for sure because he kind of said at the beginning of the season that this was going to be his only year at KU. But I also think that if Embiid does go into the draft, I'm not really sure if he'll be within the first rounds because he does have a back injury that he has been dealing with for every season that he's been playing. So I think that will definitely be in consideration.
Yeah, I'm sure that back injury will definitely play a factor, and he's obviously a big-time NBA player whenever he decides to come out, but there have been rumors floating around that he wants to return for his sophomore year because that's what all the, quote, great big men do, I guess. So.
Right, and I think he would definitely benefit with our athletic program and our trainers. I don't think it's really a bad thing to stay for one more year.
Yeah, and definitely just another year in the United States and playing I mean, he's only been playing organized basketball for 3 years, and he'll have to jump into an 82-game NBA season right off the bat, and that from a physical standpoint is really demanding.
Exactly, I totally agree with you.
Well, more basketball. There was a lot that went on in college basketball last night. KU plays West Virginia next, and they lost last night to the 23rd ranked Oklahoma Sooners. I can see that potentially being a tough game on the road for us.
Oh, I definitely can too, yeah. I'm not really sure. I mean, and then there was also, I saw in the UDK that Wake Forest pulled away from number 4 Duke.
Yep, they went on a huge run. Duke went 5 minutes without scoring, and Wake Forest scored, I think, like 17 points. And
yeah.
Wake Forest is like, they're kind of the bottom of the bottom in the ACC. They're kind of like the TCU of that league. So
yeah.
just showing that anybody can beat anybody. We got the Big 12 tournament coming up soon, and after that Duke loss last night, if KU wins out through the Big 12 tournament, they could potentially be a number 1 seed.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. And I think that's about all that we have for today. So, what are we going to next?
We'll be right back with Josh and Ben from 3 in the Key.
And welcome back. I'm here with one of my former buddies here on Good Morning.
Former buddies?
KU.
Oh, we're not friends anymore?
Okay, we are friends.
Oh, okay.
But I'm saying, what I meant to say, I'm sorry, is one of my former co-hosts or one of my former co-workers, as you will. But anyway, you're Ben Allen. You now have a new show here in the Media Crossroads called 3 in the Key.
That's correct.
So first off, I have to ask you, how did you come up with the name 3 in the Key?
Well, it was one of those things, you kind of go out to your buddies and you ask them, you're like, okay, what should I call my show? Should I just kind of bounce around with a name idea, And of course, a few inappropriate topics came up for the name. And after a little bit of time, we decided, okay, there's going to be 3 segments. So within these 3 segments, we want to have like the key points we're going to hit on. So with going that and trying to play, have a play on words with sports names, we're like, why not 3 in the Key? And that's just kind of how the name developed from there.
There you go. So. That's very respectable. I like it. And definitely, if you haven't seen the show yet, be sure to check it out. It's on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. So when people do tune into your show, what kind of content can your viewers expect?
Well, a lot of me talking, so if I were you, I probably wouldn't watch the show. But it's
not a very good promo.
It's not a very good promo, but there could be worse. No, basically what the idea of the show is basically I come on and I intro the show, I open it, and I tell you the things that you've missed. I tell you the big sports ideas. There'll usually be a graphic or a little bit of a video. So often it's like Wichita State they just finished their season 31-0. So like that would be something I'd show, kind of get you up to date on that. Then going into the second segment, I'll have either an athlete or a renowned writer come on, and they'll talk a little bit about sports. And even just 2 weeks ago, I had Carolyn Kipp, who's a part of the cheer team. And she came on, she was able to speak a little bit about what it's like watching a KU basketball game from a cheerleader's perspective. So do a little bit of that, and then you come into the third segment, and it's more of the debate style, which is what's under the second line on the name of the show, which is 3 in the key, let the debate begin. And the idea is that I have different radio hosts, different writers, and different TV personalities come on, and they basically talk about what's going on in the sports world, debate it a little bit, and get into what's going on.
Sounds like a very packed show, and
It's a busy 30 minutes.
Right, and I'm sure it's very informational for those who are interested in any kind of sports topics. I've actually had the pleasure of watching a few of your segments, and I think you're doing a fine job.
Well,
but
thank you.
I have to ask, what are some of your future goals for the show? Where do you want to take it here from?
Well, we're only about 4 shows in right now. So right now it is a little bit still in the experimental stage. We're still trying to figure out what are we going to do for each piece. And right now I think my goal for the show is to just really get viewers up. I think we've got a solid basis of what we want to do for the show. And as time progresses, I'd love to be able to get more, for lack of a better term, big name athletes to come on. I'd like to be able to expand this into something bigger. And me being only a sophomore, I think I have a little bit of time that I can work with it and try to really expand the segments, get more video content, and be able to really allow other reporters to come in and really make an impact on the show.
Definitely sounds like a good plan to me. So I got to ask before you leave, obviously last night, as we mentioned earlier, it's KU's basketball senior night for the men. So now that we know that the KU Jayhawks have wrapped up the regular season Big 12 title for the 10th straight year, they are going to be the 1 seed going into the Big 12 tournament here next week in Kansas City. What is the ceiling on this team going forward into the NCAA tournament?
Well, I think the team comes and goes with Nadir Tharp. Your point guard is often your guy, especially going into a tournament run. That is kind of he's your guy who gets everything going. He's the guy who's the playmaker. He's called the one for a reason. He's the point guard. And basically this team will come and go as Nadir Tharp comes and goes. And the ceiling for this team potential-wise being a bunch of young guys is something I feel like we still have not hit yet. We've had games in which we scored in the 90s, and you could say, well, they still did not do something well. So I think it's really going to depend on how well these guys can play in the tournament, but I think it's all going to come back to see, how well is Nadir Tharp playing.
All right, so KU goes as Nadir Tharp goes, and I think your answer should have most KU fans salivating at the fact that they haven't played as well as they can.
Yeah.
But thanks for being here, and that's all the time
so much,
that we
Josh.
have. And we'll be right back after a short break with the news.
Welcome back to Good Morning KU. I'm Katie.
And I'm Katie. Here's your Good Morning KU News Update. President Obama has signed an executive order imposing sanctions against any person or group responsible for undermining Ukraine's democratic process. This is just one of the White House's responses to Crimea's upcoming referendum on March 16th to decide whether it will remain part of Ukraine or become part of Russia. According to the Associated Press, many in Crimea fear becoming a part of Russia, as it could lead to eventual annexation by the Russian Federation.
A public school system in Atlanta, Georgia has been reeling for weeks from a cheating scandal. New allegations are unfolding as it is becoming clear that the parents of 14 football players from the high school have falsified their addresses so that children could play at one of the city's powerhouse football programs.
Samsung will donate $3 million to charity in honor of Ellen DeGeneres' now famous selfie. At last Sunday's Academy Awards, host DeGeneres used a Samsung phone to take a picture with herself and 10 A-list celebrities. The picture quickly became the most retweeted photo ever, gaining 3 million retweets and temporarily shutting down Twitter. Samsung's donation will be split evenly between St. Jude's Research Hospital and the Humane Society.
Students will see a new look for the college SAT coming the spring of 2016. According to CNN.com, the upcoming changes will be what is tested, how it is scored, and the student preparation. The new tests include 3 different sections: evidence-based reading, writing, and math, and there's an optional essay. The score will also be moved back to the original maximum of 1,600.
The men's basketball team wrapped up the home portion of their season last night with an 82-57 victory over Texas Tech. It was senior night at Allen Fieldhouse, and senior transfer Tarek Black took full advantage of Joel Embiid's absence. Black started and scored 19 points and hauled in 6 rebounds. The Jayhawks will close out the regular season on Saturday at West Virginia.
Despite all the political unrest and the threat of civil war, Ukrainians found a temporary reason to celebrate yesterday with their 2-0 soccer victory over the United States. The match was to be played in Ukraine but was moved to Cyprus. Ukraine did not qualify for this summer's World Cup, but the United States will host Mexico in a friendly game before heading to Brazil.
That's it for today. We'll be right back with Riley and Caitlin.
Caitlin, and she's out in the Union looking for people. Caitlin, what exactly are you doing out there?
Hey, I'm in the lobby and I'm gonna go talk to some students who are at the last home game of the year. So let's go see who's here.
Awesome.
Hey, I'm here with Skylar, and you were at the last home game of the year. How was it being at Allen Fieldhouse for the last home basketball game?
It was really cool. Probably substituting Nico and then Bill Self put them in. It was just really a really good environment to be in. So
Yeah, that was cool how the students got to choose who went in for the last. So you were also there for the senior speeches, right? How was that? Was that emotional seeing all the seniors leaving?
it's always a night because he's only been here for a year, but he has some he's the most dedicated players I think I've ever seen. So it was just really nice seeing how much he really about the future, not just himself.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, thank you so much. And let's go see who else is here. Hey, we're here with Hassan. So you watched the game, right?
Yeah.
What did you think of the last home basketball game of the season?
I think the fans were amazing. They were real into the game and showed some respect and some love to the what they accomplished throughout the season.
Absolutely, yeah. So that was really awesome seeing it on TV. And was it crazy, hearing the fans through the TV?
It was loud.
That's one of my favorite parts of being in Allen Field. That's how loud it is.
It's really loud.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, and we are gonna go back to Riley.
All right, well, senior night is always such a great tradition. Always good to thank all those guys that have put in a lot of hard work here at this program. And I think that's all we've got time for today. So have a great morning, KU.